Toyota is in a bit of a pickle. Its hybrid fleet isn't enough to keep the emissions in check, and proper EVs aren't the Japanese car maker's strong suit. Just yet. That leaves plug-in hybrids, and fortunately Toyota makes some good ones, but is it still worth checking out the outgoing generation of the RAV4 PHEV? Let's find out. I compared the Toyota RAV4 PHEV against the MG HS PHEV. Channel members can watch this review early and with no ads. Launched in late 2018, the Toyota RAV4 XA50 was given a quiet facelift somewhere along the way. One of the more visible changes was the introduction of the GR Sport trim. Allegedly, it has a stiffer suspension than the standard model and it looks kinda sorta more sporty. Whatever. Has anything else changed? The time it takes to open the tailgate dropped from about 10 seconds before the facelift to about 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi, 6 Mississippi, 6 seconds. Toyota sped up the tailgate mechanism for the premiere of the Lexus NX a few years ago, and it was so much bragged about that they created a video comparing the new and the old versions. The RAV4 is now practically a Lexus, at least in this respect. In the PHEV, the floor is slightly higher than in the regular hybrid RAV4, and the floor cannot be dropped to a lower position. Also, it's not double-sided like in the HEV. There's also a 220-volt socket. The PHEV boot has 520 instead of 580 liters. The cargo cover fits under the floor, and if you really apply yourself, you can also fit the charging cables down there. Speaking of charging, the fuel filler cap remains on the left side, and on the right side is the charging socket. Although the RAV4 PHEV accepts up to 7 kilowatts, it's a single-phase charger, so depending on where you live, you may not have such output at home. So you'll have to charge at about 2 kilowatts, which will take 7 to 8 hours. The rear seat is the same. The doors still cover the sills. There is still plenty of legroom and headroom. There are still 2 USB ports, air conditioning vents. The backrest angle is adjustable. There is an armrest with cup holders and door pockets. There are ISOFIX anchor points on the side rear seats, and there is still no ski hatch. The backrest still splits 40/60. A small tunnel still runs through the middle. 2 things changed in the cockpit. First of all, it's the instrument cluster. It's now fully digital and resembles that in other recent Toyota models. Second, there is a new old infotainment system, meaning it's newer than in the pre-facelift model and older than what Toyota currently installs in new models. A completely new infotainment system will debut in the recently shown 6th generation of the RAV4, which will probably debut in Europe around early 2026. Other than that, the current RAV4 has one of the best designed cockpits, which no one has ruined yet. All essential features are controlled with large physical buttons and knobs. The center screen is mainly used to display Android Auto, unfortunately only wired. Too bad, because the wireless charger actually works. To connect Android Auto, you still need a USB-A cable. For fast charging, there are USB-C ports under the armrest. The armrest storage is large, as is the glove box. Also, the door pockets are spacious. Cup holders are quite large as well. Next to them is a traditional gear shift lever, as well as some buttons and a knob related to drive modes. More about them in a moment. Let's go! We start by turning off ESA. Actually, it's impossible. You can only turn off traffic sign recognition completely, and that requires 10 clicks with 2 buttons on the steering wheel, at least they're physical. I hope that in the new RAV4 Toyota will finally figure out how to disable it in a single move. Other safety features work fine. By default, the car starts in electric mode, as long as there is enough charge in the 18 kWh traction battery. That's gross, I think, because I managed to put about 15 kWh in it when the computer claimed it was empty. To answer your question, what happens when the battery runs out? There is always some energy left, probably about 2 or 3 kWh, and this buffer is used for regular hybrid mode, where the combustion engine and the electric motor work in tandem to maximize efficiency. So, if you didn't charge the car from a socket, the fuel consumption would be around 5-6 liters per 100 kilometers in the city, and probably around 8 liters on the highway, assuming you have a heavy right foot. And if you charge the car, then in the current weather, which is low 20-something degrees Celsius during the day, the promised electric range of 75 kilometers is easily achievable. A few years ago in winter, I drove the RAV4 PHEV rebadged as the Suzuki Across. In the cold, I managed to achieve high 80-something kilometers in electric mode. And what if I step on it and I'm in electric mode? Won't the cold start negatively affect the combustion engine? The hybrid powertrain is designed to handle this. Besides, if it's very cold, the combustion engine may start from time to time to warm up, just in case. Speaking of fast driving, the RAV4 PHEV can go up to about 140 kilometers per hour in electric mode. Then the combustion engine starts, but at first only to reduce electricity consumption. The engine starts propelling the front wheels directly only when the main part of the traction battery runs out, or if I switch from electric to hybrid mode. Complicated? Not at all. You don't think about it on a daily basis, you just drive the car. By the way, this thing has sufficient oomph in electric mode for city driving. In electric mode, the time from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour is about 9 seconds. In normal and sport modes, I achieved just under 6 seconds, and Toyota claims this thing will do 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 6 seconds flat. RAV4 PHEV has 306 horsepower, 185 horsepower from the internal combustion engine, 182 from the front electric motor, and 52 from the rear electric motor. Somehow all this amounts to 306 horsepower. RAV4 PHEV can tow up to 1.5 tons. What about handling? It's average. You don't buy a RAV4 expecting excitement on your commute. However, this press car seems to have rather used up brakes. I recall the Suzuki Across having much more stopping power. Soundproofing is fine, visibility is okay. The 360 camera helps maneuvering. There is also a virtual rearview mirror, which is useful when you're driving loaded up to the roof or with tall passengers in the back. And since this is an all-wheel drive car, let's do my diagonal approach test. Like Lexus PHEVs, also Toyota PHEV copes fine with traction control on. However, turning it off causes the AWDi system to lose its characteristics. So when in doubt, do not turn traction control off and use trail mode. Prices of the Toyota RAV4 start at €40,990 for the basic hybrid front-wheel drive model. PHEVs start at €52,790. This test example is a GR Sport PHEV. With options, it costs €65,420. So what's the alternative? Stellantis, premium or Chinese? I do not recommend the latter. Premium depends on what financing deal you can get, and Chinese, well, that's a topic for another episode. And there's always the new generation RAV4 coming soon. And what do you think about the Toyota RAV4? Do you own the current generation, maybe a PHEV? What's your experience with it? Let me know in the comment section below. If you like my sarcastic, down-to-earth and possibly mildly amusing car reviews, join me every Friday at 3 p.m. Central European Time, and don't forget to subscribe and like this video as it helps me with the YouTube algorithm. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.